Hey Payal, best of
Hello.
luck.
Hi.
Hi, thank you
Best
so
of
much for
luck.
the wishes, Amit and
Yes,
Umu,
thank
right?
you. Yes, Ommo from Chennai.
Hi, hi.
Welcome. Amit.
Yeah, hi, all the
So,
best.
Thank
so
you.
very good evening, everyone. My name is Amit Mahanta. I am one of the senior advisors here at ProTouch Professional Training. So, before we start with our session today, let me give you an overview about ProTouch. So we are a certification institute which provide upskilling courses to professionals like HR generalists, HR analytics. We have trainer certification program like corporate trainer and facilitator, post trainer program, emotional intelligence trainer and coach certification, leadership trainer certification program, and a program into organizational development and change management. We also provide you with customized programs, and all the programs that we are providing are accredited by topmost bodies like ICF, SHRM, HRCI, and CPD. I'm very glad to see many of our existing part students here, team members, and aspiring students as well of ProTouch. So before we begin, I would like to know from the audience, you can either unmute yourself or use the chat box. I would like to know from everyone, like which city they're from and how exactly is the weather there.
May I?
Yeah, sure, please.
I'm Ommo. I'm in from Chennai. I have done two courses with ProTouch. ProTouch has become a mica for me now. So I'm so happy to be with this banner and badge, and I'm excited about it. Yes, of course, nobody's laughing. Dr. Aparna, as per she's that inspiring lady will put the bomb on you and bloom the gases on you to continue your journey in a spirit. So I'm happy, and I was like even telling everyone if you want to learn something in a better way, join ProTouch. So I'm
Thank
happy
you.
about it. So started campaigning like a pro now. I'm so happy with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ivan. And it's very great to have you with us here today as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Anyone else would like to share?
Yes, Ommu asked me to join this session. Looking forward. Thank you.
Welcome, Rehan. We happy to have you as well with us. So, without further ado, I would like to take a moment to introduce everyone with our today's guest speaker, Payal Minhas. She is an expert in HR process digitalization, PMS, and management with a very strong data-driven decision-making skills. She is also very committed to deliver results with her strategic thought process. She holds 14 great years of experience in HR digitalization and talent management. Payal, it is an honor to have you with us today evening.
Vice versa. Same here, same here.
So please, the stage is all yours.
All right, all right. So I'll just put my slide on share once again. So how's everyone doing? All good? All right.
Yes.
So, as you all know, that our today's topic is aligning talent acquisition with business strategy for future empowerment. So, before I start, what is your understanding with respect to talent acquisition and business strategy alignment? Anyone can just take a moment and speak it up because I should know my audience.
Yeah. So I think Captain Manoj Bhamre here.
Yes, sir.
So understanding the business, like what are the business goals, what are the based on the development strategy, organizational development strategy, whether the people are capable enough, or what sort of competency is required basically for the people to be hired.
Spot on.
So yeah, so that based on that, aligning the business strategies and accordingly hiring the competent people. That is my understanding on this. Yeah.
Certainly, certainly right. Anybody else before we start? All right. So before I start, because I'm an HR, I'll start with a quote. So the quote is actually given by Mr. Zakir Hussain, actually, I believe. And the quote was that a teacher doesn't teach, but a student learns. So all of you, please be very, very open minded. Start capturing whatever information you can capture from these slides. I have tried my level best to give you the best possible information around this particular topic, and let's see how it goes. So I'll start. So in this webinar, you will learn why talent strategy is important, scenarios. I have kept few scenarios for you to understand the terminology. Then what is talent strategy? How to create talent strategy? Sample talent acquisition strategies. Then talent strategy alignment or integration, we can say. Benefits of talent strategy alignments. So why talent strategy is important? Let me just tell you quickly. So as you all know, world is constantly changing, and so is business. We have seen COVID, we have seen market going up, down. So absolutely that is there, and it is going to evolve, it is going to change. So the company's target and business goals, and so the HR processes and strategies. Second, that this is the key to become a strategic HR professional, right? So I'll start with a scenario. Okay, why scenario? So that you can understand the real time usage of this term strategic talent management or talent alignment. So there is an HR, Arpita, HR business partner, and there is an Adam name business leader. All right, Adam is basically, just a second, I have to minimize this. Yes. Hmm. So Adam basically asked Arpita, who is the HR business partner, that why are we spending money on this leadership development program? We all must have seen this kind of conversation happening in the business world. So Arpita is saying that because I saw a presentation on it at a SHRM conference and it looked valuable, right? So when she replied like this, it is not a appropriate reply, or we can say not a very strategic reply. It's more of a tactical reply कि हमने कुछ देखा and then now we wanted to implement in our organization. And you must have heard such kind of replies from many of the HRs, which is not a very strategic reply. Now we'll see the same scenario where Adam is asking as a business leader that why we are spending money on leadership development program. So Arpita as a business HR business partner now is saying that because the business want to expand into the Europe and we are training leaders to start the business in this geography and deliver results. Now Adam is very much okay to spend his money, the money which is given under his bucket, on the leadership development program, which they connect with HR ka kharcha, yani ki the amount which they have to spend on the HR initiatives. So this is the one kind of scenario. Now I'll show you another scenario, and this is absolutely a strategic way of handling the query of the business. So now I'll show you a query of CEO and CHRO. This is a level up sort of discussion where CEO Vanya is saying that, hi Shifa, here are my 5 goals for the company for the next 3 years, which you must have heard. This is a very common statement: 3-year goals, 5-year goals. All the CEO, company, managing director talk like this. So Shifa, being a CHRO, says, that's great, Vanya. Now tell me which role you need me to hire and which training courses you need me and how you want me to handle performance management, and I'll handle it for you. Right? This again is not a very strategic reply because it's a tactical answer. Why tactical? It is somewhat meaningful, but it is not coming from this strategic perspective. Now we'll see the scenario 2b, where Vanya is asking the same question that Shifa, here are my 5 goals for the company for the next 3 years. Then Shifa is saying those goals will require a hiring and retention program for engineers in these 5 geographies. Let me put together a proposal for how we can make it happen. Now, do you all agree that this is more strategic?
Yeah, better.
Right. Because now HR is putting his brain that business, this is the requirement of the business. Now, how HR can enable them is HR's job, not the business job. In previous slide, HR was telling the operational things. In this slide, you can see that HR is guiding them for the business strategy, right? Or we can say talent strategy. So now we'll move further that what is exactly talent strategy. So talent strategy basically is mission statement. It covers the mission statement, which is the aim and goal of talent function, which is HR function. Then talent strategy is basically what mechanism we will employ to achieve our mission. And talent priority, which means what are the key initiative and focus for the talent function. I'll tell you in further slides how these things are correlated. But keep in mind that talent strategy department, which means HR department itself, have his own mission, his talent strategy and talent priority. Without this we cannot run any strategy or even create any strategy. So a talent strategy is essential ingredient for transforming a reactive and tactical HR function into a proactive and strategic one. In my previous two examples, you might have realized that the first replies were reactive and tactical. They were very operational, right? And in the second slide, part two slides, you must have seen that the HR people were proactive and strategic, which means they were contributing their part to the business. And that's what this game is all about. So let's move further. How to create talent strategy. Now, you all are aware that there's a corporate business strategy, which means a CEO in the company who is the brain of the organization and who has the vision for the organization. And under that there are three key business people, which is like finance. You all know CFO, they manage all the financials and everything. Then sales and marketing, who bring the business, who bring the revenue to the company. And operations, who basically manage the processes internal, right? So these are the three major we can say contributors while deciding that this will be our goal for the year or for the next 3 years or 5 years. Reason behind, a finance guy has to tell to the CEO कि आप जो सोच रहे हो, whatever you're thinking is a very cost heavy project, or this is this will going to involve a lot of cost. Or maybe sales and marketing tell their own challenges, and operational people can share their own challenges. But you might have seen in the company that there is no HR intervention per se. HR is more like, ठीक है आपने salary बना दिया, you have taken care of the salaries, you have taken care of the PMS increments and everything, and attendance and all these things, and then HR is like out from these kind of meetings. But whenever a business who want to have a strong base, they always involve talent management, which is CHRO. All right. So what talent management does, what a CHRO does, it brings right people at the right time, in the right role, at the most economical cost, which is the highest impact on the business. Because without people we cannot have the highest impact, no matter what operation, sales and marketing and finance does, because they all work with resources. All right, I hope I am clear, and if anyone has any question, we'll take towards the end. So I have few sample talent acquisition strategies, because this is more of talent, acquisition alignment with business strategy. And I just wanted to tell you and give you an understanding that talent acquisition is a part of talent management strategy, because talent strategy is a bigger umbrella and talent acquisition come under that. So because this session is more around talent acquisition strategy, I'll cover and I'll talk more about talent acquisition strategy right now. So this is just a sample to make you understand. So assuming that there is an organization who has a mission statement. Now you remember three steps which I showed you earlier. I'll just take you back so that you can remember. Mission statement, talent strategy, and talent priority. Okay. So one is basically our goal, talent ka jo goal hai. Second is mechanism, and third is our process. So what is happening, that there's a sample for you to understand. This is just an example. Assuming there's an organization who creates a mission for the talent acquisition. Their mission is that we create competitive advantage through recruiting excellence, ultimately reflecting in the clinical and financial outcome as the provider, partner, and employer of that choice. So they are very, very clear that through a strategic intervention they want to bring the business financial outcome is the business term, right? And as a provider, partner, and employer of choice, that's their goal outcome. But What they are doing, they are creating a competitive advantage through recruiting excellence, which means talent acquisition. They are taking it as a priority. Okay, so now this is the second part, which is the mechanism. How they want to do it? What is the mechanism of this entire strategy? So they are saying that we create value and competitive advantage through, what are the steps they are going to take? That they will gonna hire best in class recruiters. There is no substitute for talent, because right, brand differentiation, relentless sourcing, service excellence, and alignment with operations. So they have I'm not going to read through all of this because we have a time limitations. So you can just understand that they have their own mechanism set to achieve the goal. They have to best in class recruiters, brand differentiation, relentless sourcing, service excellence, and alignment with operation. With this, what they will gonna do, they will gonna achieve this. And what they have to achieve, they have to ultimately reflect in clinical and financial outcome as the provider, partner, and employer of choice. Okay, so you understand the goal of the organization or of the talent, and then the mechanism. Now we will see how they are measuring it, because just saying that we will be, that we want it, doesn't actually give the results. We have to always measure what we want, right? So whenever we set the mechanism, now we have to put the measurement in it. So we said that top recruiters, how we will be measuring? Extensive recruiters scorecard. Brand differentiation, so we will see the traffic versus candidate quality, referral versus and rehire percentage, social media growth. Then third was relentless sourcing. So time to find, not time to fill. So they have this particular organization. I've taken this as an example. So this organization basically have the mechanism, the measurement for all the mechanisms. You can see on the left hand side all the mechanism we discussed in the previous slide, and in the blue box you can see they have put the measurement, how they will going to measure it. It's more of like same, like you have goal KRS and then the KPIs, and the how you evaluate it. So that's how you do it also. Moving forward, talent strategy alignment and integration. Now this is a very very important part you have to understand, because now you will understand from where this talent strategy is coming, which means the example, the last three slide I showed you, from where that slide is coming, right? It is not just in English, there's a brain working behind it. And this is the basically entire you can say ghar home, which is the basis of this entire strategy. So you can see corporate strategy, basically it's the roof of your home, of any business's home. So corporate strategies means goals of the organization. Then second is talent strategy and workforce plan. So I told you in initial, my initial presentation also, that talent acquisition is again a part of talent strategy and workforce planning. It is not the entire this thing, but of course. So talent strategy is basically alignment with the goals, which is the corporate strategy. Then you can see there's functions like talent acquisition, learning and development, succession planning, compensation, performance management, learning and development. All these kind of things are processes. Basically they are the processes which help the organization to achieve the goals. Now you can see there's a competency model in between, which is connecting all these sort of rooms together. So what is this competency model is basically, you might have seen that talent acquisition, while we hire some person we have different competency, but when the person got hired, then L&D says no, this person need this kind of learning, this kind of learning, this kind of learning also. So competency model, if it is same in all for all the processes, then it will be a plus plus. But if in case it is different, then the company will be wasting a lot of time in matching the competency of the resource, and then eventually they will be achieving the goals. So competency, having the alignment of competency again is very very important part of this entire structure. And we can say that this is the common language for all the sub functions under HR. Then we have a foundation. Foundation is technology enablement. Without technology, we all know that nothing gonna happen. So to have that goal in our mind, and to achieve that goal we have to have a strong foundation. Though it is not the must, but yes, it is important, right? Because when technology is there, things moves very fast. And then there is change management, which is a transformation process. So as of now, I'll be covering up the top part of this house, which is corporate strategy and talent strategy. Corporate strategy is business, and talent strategy is talent acquisition. From here only we are deriving this entire session, or we are deriving this entire topic. Moving ahead, so how to align talent strategy? So there is a talent strategy alignment, and you can see that there's a business goal. Now BG means business goal, BG1 means business goal number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So understand, as an HR you have to understand the business strategy or business goal or business need, because they will say that we have to achieve this. That's it. They will not going to talk the HR language. They will not going to convert their business goal into the HR processes, how HR has to complete it. So business will talk their own language. HR has to take a step and go and understand what business is looking for or what business is going to achieve. Then, as an HR, you have to identify the talent implications for each goals. What is talent implication? Assuming business goal number 3 is opening up a business in China. Okay, and talent implication is first of all having the understanding of laws in China. Second, maybe hiring the people for China. Third, maybe hiring the people from China in China, local Chinese people. Fourth, maybe making our leaders more ready to work in China, right? These kind of talent implications, which as an HR we need to identify. And then next step is that now we have to associate relevant talent management disciplines with each talent implication. So each and every talent implication will have a different kind of talent management discipline, which is like you can see like assuming that TI2 is hiring people, right? Or hiring people for a particular location in China. So there will be a workforce planning involved behind that. There will be talent acquisition for sure, that which all are the position which we need to fill, and which are the position which we can outsource, which are the position which we can transfer from India to China. And then L&D is also there, and then succession planning is also there, a lot of the parts, right? So that's it about talent management, talent acquisition strategy. It derived from talent strategy only, and I'm going to tell you quickly what are the benefits of talent strategy alignment. You can say talent acquisition also, but again I'll repeat, talent acquisition is just a part of talent strategy.
Can
So
you can you show the previous slide again,
yeah,
please?
sure. Are we good to go?
Talent
All okay? Shall I move on?
Sure, we can proceed.
talent implications for each goals. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
each goals, right. Business goal, see, business goal is like as maybe 5, like we wanted to expand in Germany also, in China also, but then Germany has a different implication altogether. And seeing that whether our resources are ready, or maybe a lot of other different kind of implications. And not just expansion, even in India, if you want to do it, or any sort of, you want to rise up the number, maybe 200 crore to 500 cr, you have to see how it will going to happen, whether you have the kind of talent which is required for that kind of numbers to do or not, whether you have the technology available, whether you have the people who are having that kind of skill set or not. So lot many things as an HR, as a talent strategy person, you have to see. Because business goal is a very simple term, that from this to this, or from here to here, as that's it. Talent में क्या करना है, as an HR we have to think whether it's workforce planning, talent acquisition, L&D, succession planning, compensation, performance management, and lot many things. All right, shall I move it?
Yeah, please.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. Okay, so I think this will be the last slide. What are the benefits of talent strategy alignment? So, number one benefit, business case for staff or program changes. So, you will going to have a business case for sure when you actually run a program with a strategic alignment or a strategic mindset. Either it will gonna fail or success, but you will have a business case around it, and basis on that you can take the next plan or next step action, or you can review your plan, or you can visit it. Second benefit is internal marketing and education for both HR and business. Why and how? Basically, when you have a benchmark set for a particular goal, that assuming that we have to go to China, expand our business, then you have the internal marketing happening, and education happening for both the HR people and for the business. They also understand what HR is doing, and HR also understand what business is doing, and they actually talk around it only. So it creates that momentum within the organization, and everybody works around it. So third is reprioritizing work within HR. So you might have seen lot many HR people are doing their jobs, but they don't know what they are going to achieve at the end of the day. It may be ended within the targets or something like that, but they don't know the bigger picture. So reprioritizing the work within the HR, it when you have a talent strategy, you actually this particular thing actually help HR people to reprioritize their work. They see where is the lag. If business need changes, they also have to change, then they also reprioritize their work. This is the connection, and this is also one of the benefit. Second is fourth is true north for an HR optimization or transformation. True north, you all understand, one goal for the HR optimization or transformation. Then development of internal and business facing HR success metrics. So whenever you have a strategic alignment, what actually is the outcome, that you actually eventually develop a internal or business facing HR success matrices, because you show to the business that with this particular strategic intervention, I have created this change in the organization, or brought this change, and we obviously show our changes through matrices, through dashboards and everything. So this particular strategic alignment only help you to develop this. Otherwise it will be just a database, and it will not be matching with the business. So business will say HR is wasting our time, they are not contributing anything. But if you are going with the strategy, they cannot blame you for that, and you will be actually a key to their success, not a hindrance. So that's it. Thanks a lot for everyone attention and time, and I think we are open for the questions.
Thank you so much, Payal, for sharing your insights. I would say,
Glad.
me personally, talent acquisition is a term that we very fairly come across.
Certainly
It's a
right.
new perspective in respect to talent strategy that you have mentioned. So I have a question on my end. So if I have to ask Payal, like, what exactly is the linkage between talent acquisition and talent strategy, in your opinion?
All right. So linkage is basically, as you all have seen, that there are a lot many functions. The HR is a main function, and then there are sub verticals of the HR. We have verticals. We have verticals like L&D has a different vertical department within the HR. Then payroll is a different vertical. PMS is a different vertical. Talent management is a different, and same is the acquisition also. Because why acquisition we emphasize a lot, because this is the first step whenever we acquire any resource, or to manage the resource also. Talent acquisition is not just about hiring, it's all about branding also of the organization, and employer branding. It's about making the manpower, budgeting, planning, which resource where, hiring the resources basis on the business requirement, which means skill matching, and lot many things, which is there. So if I talk about talent strategy or talent acquisition, this is a sub part of it.
Understood. Under the bigger umbrella, talent
Yes,
acquisition comes under.
yes, absolutely.
Got it. Uh, Under talent strategy, you also shared like hiring in general, it is a very important task. You mentioned aligning the hiring with the required goals. Like, is there any technique that you personally use to hire talented employees to fulfill the specific requirements that is there?
So I would say there's no one answer, or there's no one way to do it. Reason behind, you all have been familiar with the term mid-level hiring, senior level hiring, entry level hiring, and then CEO CXO level hiring. So
Yes.
all these level have a differentiation with respect to your technique of hiring. Low
Okay.
smaller level, the smaller the level, the number is vast in the market. It's same like business. Okay. Talent acquisition is more like a business HR. They are actually resource hiring a resource, they are finding a resource, and then they are aligning their skill set with the organization requirement, right? So they are more of like match karane wale jo hote hain. They have that kind of job. And why it is different for level wise, because the higher you go, the limited resources you have. So
Right.
I would say that manager and below level, you can of course go to portals like Naukri and all. But senior level positions, you also have to sometimes use the connection and the network within the organization that as a talent acquisition team you have created. It's
Right.
more of a passive and active hiring both. Senior level position, you have to do some passive hiring also. You have to keep in mind that this could be the requirement of the business, and later on we might need a CEO or sales head for this particular vertical. So let me just try and have have an understanding of the people who are passively interested for job change, not actively.
Right.
So
Networking and being proactive in
absolutely,
senior
talent
level does make
acquisition,
sense.
strategic talent acquisitions is all about being proactive, and it's all about using the brain, not the operational recruitment work.
Understood. As we go up the senior ladder, there is a difference that we come across.
Certainly, certainly. Even
That's
in the junior position, if you have some specific skill set, like since the SAP is in the market and there are variants of SAP, as in recruiter, I have seen. I was hiring for SAP FICO, so I was we were like hunting for this position like anything, because people having a FICO skill set was very limited in the market, and then we have our own challenges with respect to budget, then location, then alignment, then interview rejection, and everything. So it is very strategic again.
right. Understood. Thank you so much for sharing. So
Yes.
I would like to know from the audience as well. Had a very great session shared by Payal with us. If there is anything you would like to know more, if there's any questions on your end, you can unmute yourself or use the chat box.
Payal, I would like to thank you, and I would like also to know a few things because even I'm an HR and admin at my employer. Usually, we used to do this hiring process, but the technical and professional pro terms were not used there. They
Mm-hmm.
won't let us know what was that actually. But whatever you have told me made me open my mind like, oh wow, these are the terms and exact things which we would be knowing as the pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Into the strategic HR resource management and other studies, it's been understood like these things you have the level basis. So when you go for the junior level, mid level, and the higher level, these strategies changes according to the active and passive employees who are gonna up for the job there. And thank you for making me understand that. This was very good. Thank you once again.
All right. Welcome. Anyone have any question? Any doubt which I can help to maybe get back to you with the limited knowledge that I have.
So I would like to ask you, Payal, here one question. That
Ji.
is, there are many uh, recruiters are there, right? Um, However, I have seen the transition from a recruiter to talent acquisition becomes a little difficult, because in the people who are doing HR generalist course from us are also, they're also in hiring majorly. But if you want to change your gears to talent acquisition person, so what are the steps they can take so that from hiring they can move to talent acquisition person?
Okay. Very, very powerful question, I must say, and been through with this journey, and I would like to address it in a very shorter manner. That the key is knowledge gaining. It is all about understanding and gaining the knowledge of the higher level position. So it is always said whenever we try to become from an executive to a leadership position, that you have to act like a leadership person. So what they are doing, they are actually not doing the operational work, they are making the strategies around it. And as an HR recruiter or as an HR person, when they are doing the operational work, where is the gap? That they are not thinking like the managers or the manager's manager. Why? Because they are totally stuck in the operational job. But whenever a person is aware that they wanted to level up and they wanted to expand their horizon, so what they have to do basically is gain the technical knowledge, or I can say that leadership essential skills, so that they can groom themselves and understand all these terminology. Because when I, as an HR person, was doing the operational work, I was also going totally bogged up with all these terminology. Okay, what is this English word, what is the meaning, what is the alignment of this English word from the actual things happening in the business. The more I make myself aware of these terminology and the usage of these methods, I can say, the more I was aware of it, the more I was able to see the business while doing the operational jobs, see the business as business or a strategic, how it is driven from which, what is the strategy which is used by the business to drive, and how I am getting this operational task now. So the key is you have to be very very open, you have to have that mindset of learning and growing, and gain the knowledge from the experts, and grow yourself. That's the only key.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Because I have the hiring team as well, and we generally keep on telling them that talent acquisition person only asks sorry, a hiring person always asks three questions. What's your current salary? What's your expected salary? And what's your notice period?
Notice period.
However, the talent acquisition person says, irrespective of that, I'm okay if you join us after 6 months also. But what is the caliber of the person? How this person can be shaped up? You know, what is the potential of this person if that person joins? Then how that person can take the higher level position? That is also very important than only these three questions. So I think
Absolutely.
that is what we need to shift from only these three questions to the strategic understanding.
Strategic understanding, absolutely.
Thank you. Yes. Amit, I think there is a
Right.
one more question.
Yeah, we have a question over the chat box. Chamandeep has asked how talent strategy is useful for current team, as examples are given for expanding the team. Is it only for expansion?
Sorry, what is the question?
How talent strategy is useful for the current team that is in the organization, as the
Okay.
examples that you have given are for expanding the team. Is
Hmm.
it only for expansion purposes?
Okay, no, no, no. There's one more example that you might have seen, which is CHRO has given that particularly engineer department needs a hiring and retention program. So whenever you have a particular, assuming that the company has a goal to be the topmost leader in technology. Now, how does the technology come? You need the particular kind of resource who is skillful in that particular technology, and company has a bandwidth to let the employee do the experiment and bring the change or bring the expertise. In that case, we do not expand. We focus on the proper particular skill set from the market. We hire that skill set, no matter we have to do a lot of adjustment also with respect to cost, joining, maybe notice buyout, all these kind of things, because we are now looking for a specific skill set, not for the expansion. So whatever the business strategies, talent acquisition strategy derives from it. And as an HR, that is our job, that is our brain. We have to put that what exactly company is looking for. If company is looking for a very specific skill set, then you have to go for a skill set hunt. If company is looking for expansion, then you have to go for the expensive hiring with respect to expansion. And there are many many different kind of goals. These are the two examples which I can quote.
Right. Thank you. Chamandeep, I hope your query was solved.
Yes, I hope to.
Yes, like this means talent strategies for like business goals also, future business goals, and if there is like any problematic areas in the organizations, so हम उस पे भी थोड़ा फोकस कर सकते हैं, किसी भी पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट में अगर दिक्कत आ रही है कुछ है, उसको कैसे बेटर कर सकते हैं. दिस इज व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड, राइट?
Okay, so business के साथ whenever you align talent strategy or talent acquisition strategy, it is of course to achieve that particular business goal. Whenever you talk about the operational excellence, though that is different, but of course it is correlated. Why? Because see, whenever an operation is not working well in the organization, that is also a missing gap when the operational team or the operational part is not aligned with the business goals. So that whenever you are facing a situation where operation is not happening properly, or there's a lag in the operation, and talent, as a talent acquisition person, you're not able to achieve or deliver the desired result, then there is a gap, and that the gap is that strategy, that perfect strategy that you have to bring as an from the HR side to the business. Because business will say, I want this number, simple language. But how you have to hire, whether you have to have a ATS in the organization, whether you have to have a proper pre-onboarding to have a better employee experience, or whether you have to have a proper onboarding portal so that you can get all the documents prior joining and BGV done and all these kind of things. This is going to create the difference. So talent acquisition, again, it's a very vast subject, and a lot of things which comes under this particular category. So if there is an operational difference, operational gap, then there is a problem with the strategy alignment.
Okay, right. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello.
And sometimes operational things also take time, so it is not like that. If organization has a clear strategy, defined strategy, goals and everything, then operational things can take time, and then they also understand that the company will going to take this much of time. Like you all have seen that earlier we used to do recruitment in Excel. Now we have digitized the entire process. So of course, if an organization is bringing that digitization in the as a process, as an operational process, it will going to take some time from for the transition. But of course, once it is transit from the Excel to digital portal, then it will be all smooth. Then organization will have a wide range of data, and then that's how it will going to create matrices, and the operational excellence will come. This is just one of the example.
So,
We have
when I
a
was hearing the Chamandeep's question, what I felt that, Chamandeep, correct me if I'm wrong, that you were trying to focus more on the departmental problem. If there is a departmental problem, how the talent strategy will make a difference. Is my understanding right?
Yes, yes, exactly. Because these
Mm.
are the problems I'm facing currently in
Very
my
good, very good.
organization. Yeah.
So, Chamandeep, I would like to give you certain things from my limited experience here. Whenever there is a departmental problem, we generally tend to jump on the people. Again, why
Mm-hmm.
people are not working, why people are not working. However, whenever we evaluate certain things as far as one department is concerned, we look at the majorly two things. What are the two things? One is how's the process in that particular department? Okay. Second is there a will issue? And third is there a skill issue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like there can be process problem that because of XYZ process only the performance is not coming from that team, for example. So how can we bring the efficiency in the process? One. Second, is there a skill issue? That is, are the people are not skillful to do it? And third is people have skill, but do we have the will issue? Right? So if there is a process, we have to bring the efficiency, and then we have to we have to adjust our talent strategy accordingly. Okay. So let the more efficient people focus on the more efficient job, and which is a monotonous job, which can be done by the maybe the new joinees, maybe the operational level people, right? If it is a skill issue, then train them, get the new talent, ready-made talent who has the skill, because company cannot keep on waiting for them, giving them training, developing those competencies, and then we go ahead. And if there is a will issue, that means skill is there, but will issue, then take a calls. Whether do you want to continue in this department? Do you want to continue with this company or not? Because skill can be developed, will cannot be. So I think whenever there is a departmental efficiency or a performance issue, we work on these three levels. I hope you get it.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And at times, like it's a combination of all the three.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
have to work on three things here, right? Like, for example,
Mhm.
we may have a heart problem, but we have to work on carbohydrates, we have to work on cholesterol, we have to work on a lot of things. But we
Yes,
have
yes.
to work on all this. We just cannot say, let's remove the heart.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have a question from Captain Manoj. Please feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So, uh, for this talent acquisition strategy, what is how competency-based hiring is done? What are the tools used for that?
All right. So your question is to understand what are the tools as in used to hire, or what is the role of the competency in talent acquisition.
Yeah, see, first, because we are talking here of talent acquisition, another strategic talent acquisition.
Right.
The strategic always involved competency-based, things, hiring
Absolutely.
or not. So for that, what are the tools and methods for competency-based, hiring, basically?
All right. I can give you a limited answer around it. I think ma'am can help you around the tools, but I can tell you about the linkage of the competency and talent acquisition. So whenever we hire any resource, or we align our current in-house resources with the kind of businesses that we have, or the business goal we have, competency always play an important role. What is competency? Competency is basically a skill set, or whether the employee is competent enough to handle that particular job or deliverables. So whenever we hire also, we always nowadays we always go for the competency level, level hirings. Why? Because we have to not just hire anyone on that position who has just written down in their resume that we do payroll, we do this, we do that. We always ensure that that person is competent enough to handle that role. And competency have two variants: one is behavioral one and one is functional one. So as an HR, as an TA person, one has to see whether that resource that they are going to hire uh, is behaviorally matched with the organization culture and everything, and functionally capable to handle the job. That's my understanding and knowledge. And techniques, I think I won't be able to answer you on that. I'm so sorry for that. I yet to have to learn that.
So I think let me add something on the techniques
Yes.
part. I think, when you look at the JD says only few things. Everything cannot be put on paper, right? And that is what is the work you will be doing. But now, for example, we are looking forward for a HR coordinator job, right? So what are the competencies will come into the picture? Like, for example, the person should be able to manage the calendars very well. Then, for example, the person's written communication has to be really good. For example, so I hope you're getting my point. But the job looks very simple on the paper, right? So, but these are the unsaid things, and which are the soft skills, which are very important to perform a particular role. And hard skill will not communicate that. Like each MBA may not have all this. Okay. So what do we do? There are big companies and there are small companies. So let me consider first small companies. Small companies will consider the JDs. They will have the list of the work people need to do. And in the another column, they will have the competencies which are required. For example, written communication skill, oral communication skill, Excel, right? Interviewing skills, right? So, for example, I have these 4 skills. So, while I'm evaluating, I use different tools. For example, for written communication, I will say, okay, draft an email directly. For Excel, I may ask for example, I will ask that person to open the file because virtual interviews happens and work on the formulas. Third, suppose it is interviewing skill. Then I will say, okay, now consider that you are conducting the interview. How will you interview me? So I will get to know whether that person has that competence or not. So these are direct tests, and these are called task-based techniques. Task-based means काम से related आप testing करके लेते हो. One. Second is psychometric. Okay, if I'm hiring people for leadership, So I may use psychometric like DISC analysis, emotional intelligent leader analysis, and a lot of things I use. And and that helps me to understand whether this person has a potential or not. Psychometrics are used quite often for competencies. Sometimes you may take MCQs and you can just get the data of the person, what is the knowledge, skills, attitude people have. Okay. And in big companies, what happens? We also have the proven records. Like, for example, if I have a 50 leaders who are top performers, I will map their psychometrics. Getting my point? For example, emotional intelligence, their score is above 80 out of 100. So the new person is coming. I will ask that person, take the test. When the person is around 70, so I get to know that can we take that person to above 80? Can we consider person? But at the same time, I get to know that person has got 50. So 100% there is a direct, immediate reject. But there is a person who has got 90. Then there is no. So I hope you are getting my point. How do we map with patterns, data, task-based? Captain Manoj, am I
Yeah, yeah.
able to? Yeah?
Yes, yes, yes.
So these
I'm
are the ways we evaluate. And most of the hiring mistake we do, we just go on our gut feeling and we just go on how the person is speaking. ऐसा लगता है कि okay, that person is speaking good, तो sale तो कर ही लेगा. No, not necessary. Sales is a very different technique. And let me tell you, the person who is not good speaking also can sell really well. And people will
Absolutely.
keep on thinking, करता क्या है ये? Okay. But there are people who come from convent, great English, superb communication, superb personality, but they're maybe good at some other things, okay, but may not be good for sales. So that's what is happens. Great
yeah,
discussion. Yeah.
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 Thanks, madam.
We also have a question pile from Mahima. I believe this is something I asked earlier as well, but if you would like to give a brief again, like the
No
difference
issues.
between talent acquisition versus talent strategy.
Talent acquisition and talent strategy.
Strategy, right.
So yeah, Mahima, talent strategy is the bigger umbrella, is the umbrella under which talent acquisition comes. So talent strategy is something that where you create strategy around talent, and around talent means L&D will also come, succession planning will also come, because whenever you have to achieve a company goal, company does not see HR as an HR, they see it as an enabler to achieve that goal. And as an enabler, we also know HR is a department which has a lot of sub departments. Talent acquisition again is a part of it. If you have to achieve a goal, maybe that goal can be achieved by succession planning within the organization. Maybe you can promote some people and make that a goal achieve internal up movement. And maybe you have to do the workforce planning, which means assuming that there is a goal which need a particular kind of capability, then you might have to do the competency matching within the organization, that how many resources I have who have this kind of competency to achieve this goal. If there is no competency, I mean there is some lack, then I have to go out in the market and hire the resources. So there is a linkage in between all the verticals in the HR, and talent acquisition is one part of it.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Are
So
there
well,
any?
very well explained by Payal. Very well. I mean,
Thank you.
and it's very difficult to explain, Payal, sometimes because when you are standing in that organization, like for example, talent acquisition to hota hi hai. Every day you are hiring people. But talent strategy is like, for example, in our company, for example, every month maybe 20 people are joining. Okay. 20
Mhm.
people, for example, people are joining. One TL can take care of maybe 8 people. So per month, I need 2 TLs. Can you beat this? Are you getting my point? Because they're already those TLs are there, their capacity is over to
Right.
manage the talent. And the thing is this, then if I get people from outside, my internal people will feel bad कि बाबा यहाँ काम करने का फायदा क्या?
Right.
And if I want to develop from inside, then I need that potential that every person may not have the leadership skills. And that
Certainly.
is where, so, दो लेवल पे होता है. मिड लेवल पे होता है कि लीडर्स डेवलप करो इंटरनली, और टैलेंट, दैट इज अ स्ट्रैटेजी. एंड टैलेंट एक्विजिशन इज लोग लेकर आओ. दैट्स अ एक्विजिशन. Okay.
Right.
But believe me, there is a huge bottleneck when it comes to leadership development. Because, in the school, everyone goes ahead, whether you get 35%, 90%, 80%, 70%. But in corporates, if you want to go ahead, you know, you
You have
all
to be
have to have that 90 to 10, 100%. Then only you can go ahead. And
high
sometimes,
potential, high performance employees only.
absolutely, and very important, you use both the words are so powerful in this, कि इसमें सिर्फ high performances भी नहीं जा सकते आगे,
High potential is also
because
important.
high potential may not be there.
Right. Right.
And that is where develop, acquire, develop, acquisition, this is what keeps on happening in hiring. Because most important thing in business is getting the people, because business is there, huge business is there. If I
Right.
don't have people, it's a opportunity cost, we are paying for that, right? But if I
Absolutely.
don't have people, I cannot get that, I cannot grab that opportunity. So I hope you're getting the uh, essence of it, that what is talent acquisition and talent strategy.
Right. And I also would like to add one more thing. You might have seen many key positions within the organization. As a talent acquisition person, they might are looking out, they might wanted to go out. And as an HR, you have to analyze those things. And whenever you understand that these are the key positions that we have in our organization who are going to bring the business, and they are, sort of not interested doing their job, then either you have to create a
Position.
successor for them within the organization, or you have to find a resource in the pipeline, so that in case if he goes, then there is a replacement of that. So all these kind of things, a talent acquisition is the one who can do that.
Very nice.
Thank you so much, Payal, for sharing. Uh,
Thank you so much, Amit.
it has given me as well such different perspective on the complete process.
You
So,
enabled me, actually. Thank you so much. The mehnat behind the entire program, I must appreciate to Amit also. Claps to Amit.
thank you so much. It means a lot.
Welcome.
So, I would like to know if there are any last questions. We are almost done with the time.
Yes, 8 past 2 minutes.
If not, actually I had a final question, and I think so this would sum up the today's session very well. So,
Sure.
Payal, I would like to know, like, what is the overall benefit of HR professionals of understanding and learning these concepts? If you could sum it up.
Hmm. Very, very good question, Amit.
Thank you.
So, whenever as an HR professional, you wanted to move yourself from that operational job to a strategic role. So, whenever you have this kind of desire within you that I am done with that operational day to day, same job, same job, same job every day, and I want to work like the person sitting above my head who is telling me what to do, what not to do, you have to transform yourself. And this talent strategy terminology or this particular subject will only be able to make you understand the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture of the business? Because business talks number, business talks expansion. Nobody talks HR language. And once you are from the HR, you understand the operational part of it. You can always use your brain to make it more strategic because you understand the how it works actually.
Mm.
So whenever anyone wants to uplift themselves from that operational part to the strategic part or to the higher levels, you have to go into the strategy. That is the only way out.
Understood.
Thank you for asking this question.
Thank you so much. Right.
I hope you all had a good time. Thank you, ma'am, for arranging this session. Thank you, Amit. Thanks a
Most
lot,
welcome.
everyone, for giving your time and attention.
Well, I would like to take a moment to thank you, Payal, for taking out your time from your busy schedule. I understand you just got back from the office.
Certainly,
And I'm
certainly.
very sure our participants have enjoyed today's session thoroughly.
I hope to. I hope to. Please learn about this subject more, explore it by yourself. I have tried to give you limited information and knowledge that I have. Certainly, this is a very vast subject, and you can actually understand business through this subject, not just HR. HR. You will always gonna understand, and you can any which way is gonna work out. But business, you have to put your brain how business is working, and the strategy is going to enable you there. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Payal.
Payal.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Very
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you
Very
so much.
refreshing session it was.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Pleasure is
And
mine.
kudos to Amit for coordinating everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
All right, have a good day everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye.